Tag somebody. All right. And we live, baby.
We live, babe.
All right. Go.
Whatever happened to Am I my brother's keeper, huh? You know what happened to it.
It became my people's keeper. A moment of information, impartation, and inspiration to uplift, encourage, and most importantly, empower. So am I my brother's keeper? Yes. Am I my sister's keeper? Yes. Oh yes, I am my people's keeper.
What up? What up? What up? What's going on, everybody? This is my people's keeper. We are so excited again, as always, to be on this platform, tuning in to join you all, to join us as we discuss some topics. Well, listen, I don't want to prolong the time. Definitely, if you're tuning in by way of Facebook and by way of YouTube, please, ma'am, please, sir, please like, share, and definitely love the discussion. Also, listen, as we get into this discussion tonight, we definitely would like for you to be our guest, if you will. Definitely, you can call in at 803-479-1683. And definitely, as we have this discussion concerning different parenting styles. Well, listen, I'm excited, to have my lovely and beautiful and wonderful co-host on the live tonight. Baby, how you doing? Let them know.
What's up, my people? How y'all doing this evening? This is Patrice. I'm just so excited to be alive and well.
Oh, yes, that's right. Make some noise for my queen. For the beauty and all of this. Yeah. She's so beautiful. Yes. Listen. We don't want to definitely prolong the time. Listen, I wanted to have this discussion. It's been on my mind for quite some time. Definitely as relates to this discussion concerning different parenting styles. Definitely as I grew up and as my wife grew up, definitely our parents did an amazing job with us. Did an amazing job with us, just like many of you that are watching. I know that your parents did a phenomenal job with you. And so definitely there's some things that we've been able to take away from our parents and definitely to be able to use to raise our kids as we're raising our kids now. But also things that we have learned along the way that through the help of God, as always, as we say, that God will give us revelation.
I'll tell you what.
How to impart our children.
There is no manual to being a parent. There is no manual to being a parent. It is trial and error. You figure this thing out. You make it work.
Man,
like right now, I tell the kids, 7 o'clock, 7:30ish, we're going to do the podcast. I need my background to be quiet. But there's a kid that's in the kitchen.
Let me guess.
He's hungry and just determined to eat. Like right now, when I said later.
Let me guess.
Walking over here, waving.
Hey, Jap, how you doing, son? Tell you.
I think the best tip I can give to being a parent.
What's that?
Is just go with the flow.
Go with the flow?
Go with the flow sometimes. Sometimes you just got to go with it. Sometimes you try to argue against it. Sometimes you try to fight it. And it end up causing you more stress than necessary. So sometimes just go with the flow and let's see what happens.
Especially when you have such a special, intelligent and wonderful gifted children like we do have, especially our son Aiden. I tell you, sometimes you just got to go with the flow. I'm telling you.
Go with the flow. And it's like, I tell them, don't forget about that bath water, but give me just a sec. Check the water. Like
This is literally every day.
Don't let it run so long. Go in there, check on it. You don't need a whole lot of water.
Listen.
Get in there to the top. Look.
And even when I think about it, I'm somewhat like my father. Someone like my father, I would listen. My dad, my mama, in certain scenarios, he would have to, repeat to tell us, certain things that we would, we needed to do growing up, me and my brother. But my dad wouldn't, he sometimes wouldn't say nothing until she kept having to repeat herself over and over again. And then all of a sudden, here comes this thunderous voice, and well, you heard what your mama said. Do it now. Do it now. So, in those instances, I'd be listening. He just.
Me, on the other hand, I'm gonna fuss every step of the way.
She gonna fuss. I guess
I'm gonna fuss every step of the way. And and my mom did the same thing. Look, when my mom got off from work and she walked through that door and it was out of order, she fussing because she already gave us the layout before she even went to work or whatever the case is. And if I can't, mainly me, because my brother, we're 9 years apart, so it was mainly me. Like, she fussing. But I noticed I do the same thing. If I walk in this house and I know these jokers done been in this house all day and things are out of order, we got a problem. We got a problem.
Lord Jesus.
There shouldn't be no shoes in the floor. It shouldn't be mess all over the place. It should be order.
And in some cases,
and then I'm gonna fuss at everybody. I'm gonna start with the kids and I'm gonna give it the will to. And he ain't even the child, but the fact is, you ain't. This is what they do, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all what they do. I notice, like, say if I work late and they get home before me, he ain't gonna say nothing until he probably heard the key in the door. No, I done call and say I'm on my way. When I call and say I'm on my way, here you go. Y'all better go ahead and do what your mom say. Like, at that moment, instead of telling them already.
But see, listen. But here's the thing: they don't be bothering me when because again, most of the time I be still working by the time you get home, so they don't be bothering me. So because they ain't bothering me, nothing is toe up from the floor, like nothing ain't on fire. Then I ain't, I'm not concerned about it. But because I know how my wife is, ain't nobody got time to be hearing all of that stuff. Listen. Hey, and then again, like you said, I guess, you got the Holy Ghost a little bit, I guess, but you come in and you was just sitting here and here she go, hey, all right, y'all better make sure y'all pick the stuff up. Look, what your mom gonna say, and they should already know this by now. They should already know this by now because it's said and done all of the time. But I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
Why the kids just don't listen? So let this go to the show. That's why we're about to go into and tell y'all about these different parenting styles, because sometimes, you can have it laid out or how you want things to be, but we got to remember kids are their own little people too. And they might tell them something else as well.
Listen, they do. And I guess that's some of the things that, that's what we're trying to figure out as we're having this discussion. Like you said, there's no true manual to parenting, but there are some books out there to try to give some type of guidance. But we have found some descriptive words and meanings that can kind of help us. It also reflect and show us, what kind of parenting we received as children, and then also what kind of parenting style we're giving to our children. So the first parenting style that we looked up in resource to Very Well Family is authoritarian parenting, and that's authoritarian parenting. This is one of the things that it breaks down in 3 quotes. Authoritarian parenting says you believe kids should be seen and not heard. How many grew up that way? By show of hands. how many watching my Facebook, listening by the podcast grew up that way? The other is, when it comes to rules, you believe it's my way or the highway. Come on, how many again can remember quotes that your mother gave, your father gave, that this is my house? And you do.
So this pretty much says that this style is the parent is the boss. No compromise. No compromising at all.
You don't take your child's feelings into consideration. And don't nobody care about your feelings. I pay the bills in this house. You better go around. You better go in that room. You better go and lay them feelings down somewhere. If any of those ring true, you might be an authoritarian parent. Authoritarian parents believe kids should follow the rules without exception.
Also, they're pretty much the parents give the orders. It's either do it or else. There is no compromising. Do it or you're out the door. Do it or
and that famous quote is, "Because I said so." Don't ask me no questions. When a child questions the reason behind a rule, they are not interested in negotiating, and their focus is on obedience. And so, again, some of us can test, and there may be some of you that may have been, been used interchangeably when we start talking about the other parenting styles, which are a total of 4 that we're going to discuss tonight. So they may have been used interchangeably, but when you talk about authoritarian, a lot of African American, a lot of black folk know what I'm talking about. If you grew up, in the 60s, 70s, 80s, maybe a little over the 90s, this is mainly what you got. Come on, Patrice, you must be got that. You must be your parent. You must be able to see that coming up, coming through.
I would say that my mom, with all the styles, I guess I was trying to wait till you tell each parenting style first, but all the styles, I can say that it was a little bit of all of them. Wasn't just a focus on being the authoritative parenting style or whatever. I saw some little permissiveness as well from my mom or whatever. She was more of, I ain't gonna say we're friends, but she allowed me to have some freedom and to make some decisions. And she heard my voice as well. So it was a little bit of all of them, but go ahead and give an example of all the styles. And then
so the authoritarian and the authoritative parenting is you put a lot of effort. This is the authoritative parenting. You put a lot of effort into maintaining a positive relationship with your child. You explain the reasons behind your rules. You enforce rules and give consequences, but take your child's feelings into consideration. That's authoritative.
That might be a little bit of us.
I can definitely see that.
See a little bit of that. Mm-hmm.
Permissive parenting styles. You set rules, but rarely enforce them. You don't give out consequences very often. You think your child will learn best with little interference from you. I do that a little bit too. Just a little. You don't think so?
Oh,
okay.
I said I don't like that.
Right. Uninvolved parenting. You don't ask your child about school. Huh?
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Just go ahead.
See, this is what we're talking about, right? We gotta talk about marital styles. But you ask uninvolved parenting. You don't ask your child about school or homework. You rarely know where your child is or who she is with or he is with. You don't spend much time with your child. Uninvolved parenting expects children to raise themselves. They don't devote much time or energy into meeting children's basic needs. Uninvolved parents may be neglectful, but it's not always intentional. A parent with mental health issues or substance abuse problems, for example, may not be able to care for a child's physical, emotional needs on a consistent basis. Now, when it comes down to permissive breakdown, pretty much permissive parenting usually take on more of a friend role than a parent role. They often encourage their children to talk with them about their problems, but they usually don't put much effort into discouraging poor choices or bad behavior. And when it comes down to authoritative parenting style, parents invest time and energy into preventing behavior problems before they start. They also use positive discipline strategy to reinforce good behavior like praise and reward systems. And again, the authoritarian parents may use punishment instead of discipline. So rather than teach a child how to make better choices, they're invested in making kids feel sorry for their mistakes. So children who grow up with strict authoritarian parents tend to follow rules much of the time, but their obedience comes as a price. And so we look at these 4 styles. And out of these 4 styles, how many of these styles do you believe are these attributes that we carry?
All of them. Now, let me tell you, I'm looking at them, and I looked at about 6 different diagrams of parenting style.
I see you, Mario Jones. Go ahead, babe.
And so, authoritarian. That's how I say it
authoritarian, right?
Okay, that's not. I will not say that's not us. Because for one, communication is key in this house. Everybody talk. We might not even like how somebody say something to us, but we welcome open communication. Right. We want the kids to express themselves. We want them to be pretty much. We don't want them to be passive. Right. We want them not necessarily be aggressive either, but we want them to be able to express themselves, whether it's with other children or with adults. Some people probably would say Ari is nice and Aiden is mean. But one thing I can honestly say about both of them is they are vocal. They're going to tell you what's on their mind. Ari may do it in a nicer way, and Aiden just going to be blunt with it. But my parenting style welcomes both of it. Mm-hmm. I don't. It's just how they're feeling. I always try to, tell them how you say it. It's not what you say. It's just how you say it. Just present it in a certain way. But I've seen all of these styles, and I was joking because we're not neglectful, but it can happen, especially when you get so caught up into what you're doing all the time that you neglect the kids. Like, I could have been neglectful tonight and come to Florence and be in the studio with you, but one child is injured. They had homework to do. They needed to be picked up. Like, I could have been neglectful and not done that and be like, well, we're going to the show. Let me send somebody to come get y'all. And then we would have got home late, and then we would have had some other problems to deal with. So but it can be. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. We got Mario Jones has commented, or Jones Mario. He would love to join the panel discussion. Mario, I would love for you to join in. You can either call in over the phone, or would you like to, we could definitely, I can check with my producer to see. Oh Lord, my mama calling in. She's trying to be on the Mario. Yeah, 803-479 is the number. I want to read those comments, honey, but let me see if my mama's trying to come.
I don't see the comments. I'm not on Facebook either. I'm on my.
Okay, right, let me try. My mom's trying to call. She might be trying to be. I hope she don't beat me. Hello, mother. Hello, Mom. Are you calling?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Are you calling in to the show tonight?
I'm trying.
Okay, well, you here? What?
She in there. Hey,
all
Mom.
right, so.
But thank God, somebody stay home with grandchild.
Oh Lord, you coming in here? Talking about thank God somebody stay home with the grandchild.
Right, exactly. Somebody had to stay with these kids.
Women in general, 803-409. 803-479-1683.
Well,
Mario Jones.
Go ahead.
You good, Mom?
Go ahead.
Mom, let me ask you this.
What?
How do you did I listen growing up? Did I listen?
Some things.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Good. I appreciate.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I appreciate everything that you.
I ain't say that y'all didn't listen, even though I like y'all didn't listen, but I'm quite sure y'all have.
Good. I know. And there was sometimes, that's another topic for another day. But I appreciate everything that you've done and everything that you still do, you know, as relates to, because you still parent, regardless. But you definitely will go into your house, you know, what I say goes. That's right. Ain't that right, Mom?
That's right.
Good.
That's right.
Good. Well, Mom, I love you so much for calling in. I was kind of shocked, and you know, you said you just gonna watch. So she's still parenting even now. You know, she's supporting me on the podcast tonight.
Told me to call you.
Yeah, she's supporting the podcast. Y'all give a shout out to my mom tonight. Look at you, see the people clapping for you, Mom. Look at that. Oh man. Okay, Mom. I'll call you later. To let you know I got home safe. Okay.
Oh, I love you.
Love you more, Mom.
Bye.
Okay, so we got my mama just called y'all. Y'all see that? We got Mario Jones on Jones Mario. Huh? Yeah, he can call in now. Yeah, you can call in now, Chi. Some of the comments he was posting earlier, single mothers are the worst. Single black mothers, you're describing black women. Oh Lord. Okay.
I didn't read his comments, but what do he mean by single black women are the worst? Or
I don't even know.
Is it about? Are you talking about fussing, making sure the house is intact?
Yeah, you're not answering his question. Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead back to the discussion.
He's not calling.
Well, he said he's calling 5 minutes, but I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay.
All right. So again, we're going back to the styles that we tend to use. And again, I think that all of them in some efforts do work. Some people just focus on one, you know, in particular. And a lot of times, again, that we do know there are some that are just authoritarian all across the board. Ain't no changing.
There's no breaking it.
There's no breaking. Yeah. So again, what do we do? Okay. I got it. All right. So again, how do you feel? Is your way working? Is the way that is the style that you're using? Is it working? And this is not just for, because I saw his comment. Is it just for women? Yeah. Come on in, Chi.
Yes, hello? This is Mario.
What's going on, Mario?
Hey, what's up, man?
How you living, Chief?
I'm good.
Okay. My mic is on. Okay, good. So we're having a discussion about, you know, different parenting styles. It's not just centered around just, you know, whether it be a mother or just a father. But come on, give me your intake on some, you know, discussion. Sure.
Well, like I said in the comment earlier, the conversation pertaining to black women, because the majority of women that I know personally are black women, so I'm gonna speak from that perspective. So it's not general for me, and because I think black single mothers, and when I say are the worst, they are the worst parents, stewards of kids. Me personally, I believe, and we have the numbers and the data to back it up.
You say you have the data to back it up? Well, I can't hear myself to the mic. I can't hear.
Can you hear
me? We can hear you though. We can hear you, Will.
I can hear you, but it's like I can't hear. Hold on, let me see here. What about now?
I can hear you.
Mario, you still there?
All right, hold on. I just can't hear myself in the mic.
Do you need to hear yourself in the mic?
I through the headset.
Keep going, Greg.
And I can't even hear Patrice.
You can't hear me?
Patrice either?
She's trying to say something.
Yeah, I can hear her.
You can hear her?
Yes, I can hear her.
Okay, all right, go ahead. What you were saying, bro?
So I was asking Mario, you're saying, I didn't hear the part where you said black parents are the single women parents are the worst parents.
I said single black mothers are the worst stewards of kids. Not parents, because the majority of black women are single parents.
I can hear the headset, I just can't hear it.
Mario, give us a second. We're having technical difficulties, and
I can call back in.
Just hold on, just a sec. Let William.
Okay, I get this.
He's in the studio doing something.
Okay, I can hear you now. All right, Mario, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, all right. Okay. All right. So yeah, just had a little technical difference. It's all good. All right. So what we saying now?
Okay, what I was saying, I was making a comment in the comment section that to me and my research that single black mothers are the worst steward of kids because the majority of black women are single mothers and they produce the worst kids, hands down.
Okay, and so they produce the worst kids, and well, let's I guess well, we're the men.
Kids.
Okay, let's.
The majority of black. Say that again.
Are you saying worst kids, meaning bad behavior as it relates to? Are they criminals? Are they?
You produce the most. The black women produce the most violent kids. That's the most. They produce more criminals than any other race of women. They produce more homosexuals than any other group of women. They produce more, and y'all produce more either teenage kids than any group of women.
Okay, so what is your data? Do you have data that supports this? Because I'm gonna have to agree with it. I'm gonna have to disagree with this.
Yes, you can go to the Pew Research Institution. There's plenty more different sources. I mean, you can do the research yourself. I don't have it in front of me now because I'm actually driving.
I got you.
But
now,
okay, when you get a chance,
Mario,
drop that research in the comment section so I can look it up. So I will say, I hear what you're saying, but reason why I'm going to disagree because I know the children that come from two-parent homes that are still criminals, that are still in jail, that went to jail, criminals, broke laws, didn't have kids early, teen mothers and fathers. So I don't think it's whether they are married or single. I just think it's the parenting style that makes the difference.
When it comes to parenting in the black community, we are anecdotal. We are a monolith. My bad, excuse me, I used the wrong word. We as black people we are monolith. The majority of us, especially coming out of single parent household, we parent the same. We parent all mothers parent the same. Because you can hear when you have conversations with men that come out, men or females that come out of single parent homes, we all have the same story. So we are a monolith. Now, if you have a father at home, a father is a disciplinarian. He laid down the law. So therefore, if you do the numbers, the majority of kids who coming out of two-parent households, not all fathers are great fathers. We understand that. And some gonna produce some criminals. We get it. But by the numbers, if you're gonna use the statistics and data, by the numbers, it proves my point.
Okay, so let me ask you this here, and again, please, when you get time, put that in the comment section. So, bro Mario, let me ask you this here. So we're talking about single mothers producing the worst kids, and that just kind of, and I appreciate you coming in because this is definitely for a good discussion. But is it all the black woman's fault or the single mother's fault of why the kid is not being raised properly? Because even if they are not with the actual father, why does it stop the black man? And I'm a black man myself that have two beautiful kids with my wife that I've been married to for the last 13 years. So what I'm asking is, what stops, and this is just a general question, what stops the black man from playing his part in his role? Because I do know that there are single mothers out there that are not with the child's father, that the father still handles his responsibility and still makes sure that he plays his part. So where because we know that the statistic shows that there's definitely a great number of single mothers out there, but where are the black fathers, regardless if we're in a relationship or not? That shouldn't stop the black man from handling his responsibility as relates to causing that balance. Me and my wife talked about this a lot of times. Children, and especially if we want to talk about this, we focus on black children. They need a balance. Okay, women nurture. That's what they're set up to do. They nurture the children. Men, we are the ones that make sure that we direct, we guide, we teach, we give discipline to them. So again, if that thing is missing and that single mother is trying to do everything by herself, then again, where is the child's father at?
Now, I'm gonna answer that question. I'm gonna answer that question in 2 parts. Right.
Okay.
The issue we have here is it's not really about fault and blame. You can put blame on both parties, but let's just go with reality, right? What's really going on?
Okay.
Who's the quarterback of the team right now?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? We can Monday morning quarterback later. You know, we can get into that. That's the blame game.
Right.
But who quarterbacking the team, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these women are producing the same type of men that going out creating single mothers. And see, that's the problem. That's where the issue come in at. And it come back to parenting. Because you have to produce, you raise fathers, you raise daughters and wives, right? To be wives. You raise a son to be somebody's husband. So you're not only raising your child for yourself, you're actually raising your child for the next generation of women coming, your male sons for the next generation. So you got to raise a husband. You got to show your daughter how to be a wife. Mm-hmm. So the problem we have is the women are creating these problems themselves because they're not producing wives. They're not producing husbands because majority of women are these kids coming from single parent homes. So they are actually quarterbacking the team. Now you say we're the father. The majority of men don't even know who majority of us don't even know who our fathers is, to be honest. That's why they have $1 billion shows that display this kind of dysfunction. Majority of the black community, coming from the black community. You got the moral pulpit shows and the whatever parental, that other paternity court nonsense. Mm-hmm. See, this the problem. And then we can even go back in the 50s and the 60s when all of this came about. But I'm not gonna go there tonight because we know where it stands from. Right. And it's another hand playing a part of this dysfunction in our community, especially with our black women.
Hey Mario, this is Jamel.
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing? You know, let me ask you a question because you know we have talks in the barbershop and things like that, right?
Yes.
Like the question I have, right, is we know all this information now, and we know, but how do we change it? What's the first step? Because I always heard you talk about it, but now I'm gonna ask you a question, just being straight up. What's the first step to change it? You think your opinion? Now you're talking about your opinion.
Solutions, right?
Yeah, solution.
The solution is that right now black men don't have the power to change this dynamic. We don't have the power nor the resources to change this. See, it's one thing. This the problem, right? In order to lead, you have to be able to feed. So whoever pays you is your leader. Whoever feeds you, they are your leader. Black men ain't in a position right now to change this conundrum we in. Because now we have there's a battle between black women and black men right now. We have an internal fight. Huh?
Been for a while, and I mean, again, we know and again, but we know the problem, and I hear what you're saying as relates to we don't have the power, I guess, quote unquote, to do it. I wouldn't say we don't have the power. You know, we do have the power.
We don't have the power nor the resources to change this as a group. I ain't talking about an individual. Now, individually, you run your household like my man. He's married. Yourself, you're taking care of your kids. I get that. I applaud you for that. But we talking about as a group. As a group, we don't have the power nor the resources
because of the division. Right, because of the division. Because of the division.
That's part of it. That's part of the division.
Gotcha.
That causing the division amongst us because someone else is feeding our women and giving our women this so-called power, and the black man, and she using that power against our own black man.
So
Then she
therefore, it's
destroyed
not
her
a,
kids in the process.
so I get what you're saying. It's not a simple solution, and I can see that you probably want to know. Oh, it's an echo. Echo really bad. So I hear that it's not a simple solution. And it's all, you could also go to the whole systematic setup of how with women in a household and how they can't receive resources from the state or government if they have a male in their home or if they have a husband in their home. So a lot of people, a lot of women do stray away from possibly getting in marriage, so to say, to prevent from getting food stamps and the other resources it takes to take care of their household. So I see where you're going. I see the direction that you're going with it, but I think I can't say that single women produce the worst criminals, because I've seen criminals and all of that on all races, on all different levels. But I understand your point that you're making. I get it.
No.
Yeah, because we can all come up with, anecdotal evidence to prove our point. If we want to make a point, we can always find, that information to prove that point.
Right.
And I'm not saying I'm not here trying to dog my sisters. I love black women. All my kids' mothers are black. I have a mother, daughter, sisters. It is what it is. And I love my people.
How many you got?
I love my people, and I just got to be honest with them. And the first step is to getting past this problem. We have to be honest with our sisters, black men. We have to tell them the truth. We have to take our positions back in our homes, in our kids' lives. We got to stop begging for permission and waiting on our woman to give us permission to leave. We just have to step up and be men and get off our ass and do it.
I do agree with that part. I do agree with that part. I do feel that men do not fight hard enough for their children. I've seen so many cases of these single women all the time of they're single. Then I talk to the guy, fight for custody, help do this. They won't even take the initiative to do that. It's whatever she says, it's in her court. But that's not the case. If you really want to be a parent, then you're going to do what you have to do to take care of your responsibility. Because if William and I don't work, I always say this, nothing is going to stop me from being a part of my children's life, and nothing going to stop me from allowing him to do that or whatever. And it definitely not for $1 or, because kids need more. Don't get me wrong. They need money to survive. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we got to do better.
Hey, let me respond to that before you move on from that point. I get what you're saying, but think about this. First of all, majority of the time you're talking about low information people, very low income people. So these people don't have the resources to, like, young men. Imagine your son, 17, 18-year-old, he get a female pregnant, and she's taking them through the wrangles. And if you're a single parent, you don't have the resources, because he has to go purchase a lawyer. She get one free. You see, he's already behind the 8 ball, because he actually has to come up with the resources to get a lawyer to go to court to fight for this child. But she get a lawyer for free. So you think this young man who working at Burger King, Amazon or whatever with limited resources, he gonna take his money and give it to a lawyer to go fight for a child that maybe not even be his? You see the dynamic in that? And his mom is like, "Nah, you ain't gonna do all that. That might not even be your child."
But you know what?
See the dynamic? Yours, you're gonna fight.
Yeah. But you know what, Mario? Like you were saying, with the less education, a lot of people don't know. I spoke to a lot of young men, right? Because I didn't always father the right way. I think I just learned how to father, and a lot of people don't even know the way to go to court to get your kids.
That's true.
Because I understand exactly what you're saying.
Because we low information people, we don't have the information or the know-how, so we would just walk away. 9 times out of 10, a young man will just walk away and be done with it.
or he's seen that,
You know?
or he quick to do that because sometimes he's seen it happen to him.
That's true. Because the majority of us come from single parent households. So all we know is
on the flip side of that, when you see it happen to you, sometimes you do the opposite.
Sometimes. Sometimes.
So let me ask you this, because we have these discussions have been going on for decades and decades. So we know the systematic issue that's against blacks just in general. So again, and this is what my People's Keepers is really about, definitely to get the information, to definitely assist, but also again trying to change the narrative. So if single mothers are listening and fathers are listening, we need to take the initiative to try to change it as best as possible. If it's one household at a time, one person at a time, we need to take the initiative to do it and try to support each other with doing it. Like, we have too many battle discussions to try to prove, like you said, our point, but still we come back to the same discussion over and over again, and that's what keep making them money. We get a portion of it, but because again we don't know how to manage it, we don't know how to put it where it need to go in order for our family to be debt free or whatever the case is, we continue to be in the same revolving cycle in the door. And so my thing is, just like we had to discuss, what are we going to do? We need to do something. We got to do it. Like, I'm at the end of the day, my dad, I had my father, I know who my dad is. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I know who he is. I know where he stay at. I know I can call him right now on the phone. And again, because I had that model that was before me, I have that same model is present right now for my children. And I try to do my best to work on it consistently, day in and day out. I'm not asking anybody, what I'm saying? I appreciate definitely if somebody give me the due reward or whatever the case is, but it's my responsibility. It's my duty to make sure that I make sure I do my best to provide for my children no matter what. Again, even if I'm in a system that's against me and trying to hold me back, at the end of the day, it's what we do with it that counts. If we take whatever money we get to make it work, to make sure they eat, to make sure they survive, to make sure they have some type of experience that they'll remember, then that's what I'm going to hustle. I'm going to struggle. I'm going to, fight to do. So I'm just saying, we got the information and they know it. We could keep beating black women up. We can keep beating black men up.
Black men, what you can do if you want to fight for your kids, you can start with Millions Fatherhood Coalition.
Absolutely.
Like, there are resources out there to help fight for your child.
We're not strong.
Yeah.
We are divided, and we don't have an agenda, right? Mm-hmm. We can all have ideologies, but we should have one agenda, and we should have a black agenda. That's the most important thing. And how to rebuild this black agenda is through family. And we preach family first,
right?
Then therefore we can overcome this. That's why you have to separate a man from his child and his woman, and you will conquer that whole nation of people.
Right.
We have to get back to that. If we don't get back to family first, all this other stuff don't even matter. We can come into money. They can give us reparations. If we don't have families that have structure and discipline and laws and stuff like that, we're gonna give it right back to them.
And
the cycle gonna keep repeating itself.
And it's gonna keep repeating itself, bro, Joe. Yeah. You're right. Now I'm gonna say this, and again, we try to make sure we provide information of people that are doing stuff. I've been a spokesperson for this agency, and again, there are agencies in place. People have funded, whatever the case is, that actually do help. Even though some people say, well, they have the mindset, well, it's government funding, I ain't doing it. But there is agencies that are actually doing it. Millions Fatherhood Coalition is one that I've seen that actually assists with if there's any complication with the system of trying to fight men, black men, white men. I've seen white men in there too. So it ain't just black men, single fathers that are out there that's fighting for custody or fighting for, to help pay child support or to find a job. Millions Fatherhood Coalition is one that actually take you through the steps, take you through the process, take you through the work. There are meetings, there are time set schedules. They go with you, they send somebody, and I don't even think it's a charge. You just follow the steps to the program to assess with assisting. And again, it starts with us. The barbershop. The barbershop used to be that place. It did at one point that would help remind us that families are important. But somewhere down the line, we lost track of that. So we got to get.
It's a matter of getting the information out. When we are in places like the hair salon, barbershops, in the midst of other people, we have to inform our communities about these resources because they are there. They are there, but sometimes when we are with our people, we use that time to always joke and talk about nonsense that we sometimes miss the mark. So when we have these gatherings, we need to put that information out there of, okay, this young man really want to see his child, but this woman over here is acting crazy, or vice versa, whatever the case is. And resources like Midlands Fatherhood Coalition is definitely a place that you can start with that battle.
Yeah. Bud Jones, man. Go ahead.
Can I say something about the community part? Because I know we say that a lot, like the Black community. I mean, even by definition, we don't have that anymore. You know, we live in broken, what you call, neighborhoods, because we so diluted and separated from each other.
Right.
So therefore, we really don't even have a community, because a community consists of family. I mean, mothers and fathers and grandmothers and grandfathers and kids, and we're raising them. We don't have that, but we can't sustain ourselves in this society just alone. We don't have each other no more, so we don't depend on each other no more. That's the reason why we're going to continue to have these problems and woes in our community, because we're so separate, and that's the problem. But we have to, like you said, like I said earlier in the conversation, I said that those things I said in the comment section, right? Mm-hmm. Those are just to get y'all attention. Because if I say it and you feel you get offended, it'll open up that third eye. It'll make you think. It'll put it in your subconscious. That's why I say certain things on Facebook. Not to demean my people, because I love my people. I'm always with my people. But I know if I say it enough, it'll register to some people, and maybe some people maybe some people won't.
But
I hope it helps some of the readers. I hope it does help some of the readers. But here's the thing: you're talking about two people who, like this platform, we're not that people who need something to be motivated, because this is natural for us. We're gonna help. We're gonna help family. We're gonna help. We're gonna do it.
You don't know who's listening. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes
I know, I get it.
Some people might come by and listen to the replay and might catch what I'm saying. Oh, I know him. I mean, he's saying something crazy tonight. But they're gonna stick in his subconscious, even though they hear it in the barbershop or wherever we having these discussions. But you just got to get. We
go to the same barbershop.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But we got a barbershop. Tell them, Mario.
And I'm not afraid to say it, because I can stand on it. And people, they get upset with me, but you know what? I'm willing to sacrifice for my people, even if it costs me my life.
I've got one story.
So, okay, let me say this real quick. So when you in those places, do you have the resources there to give to the people? Do you have the information?
I cannot. I don't have the resources to feed all my people. I have some resources that I do share with my people.
Okay.
But I don't have the resources that lead a whole community. I don't. Gotcha. I'm only one person, and I have to be honest. I don't, but I do have the knowledge. Right. I can give them that.
Hey, I've seen him make a dude fury with him. I'm talking about on fire.
What?
But at the end of the conversation, you know what he said? I see what you're saying right now.
Right.
You probably don't remember that, Mario, do you? At the barbershop.
Yeah, I remember some of those conversations in the barbershop. Yeah. You have to be willing to stand on it, man. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you. And I'm willing to put my foot in the fire and put my neck on the line, because dealing with all people ain't easy. Dealing with Black people ain't easy.
Absolutely not.
Dealing with the truth is not easy.
Can I get a plug real quick? Well, Mario, you always welcome. I just need an hour of your time a week, and you can come talk about it.
Come on to the 119 Media Group.
You know what? I'm gonna make time for you, man. Yeah, you've been telling me that. You did. You gave me an olive branch, and I haven't accepted it, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, well, Brother Mario, I appreciate you, man. I'm not like that. I like in-depth conversations like that. You're always, always welcome to come and definitely to talk. I appreciate you too for the knowledge, because again, it's facts.
And I'm gonna bring my YouTube followers. I'm gonna bring them over here. So I'm gonna try to connect all this together, because we be having onto my in-depth 8-hour conversations like this, man, on YouTube.
That's what's up.
And I will hit y'all up in the back chats and give y'all the links and stuff so we can link these podcasts up and we get some more traction over here.
Sounds good, Chief. I appreciate you, man. On behalf of myself, my people's keeper, man. I'm my brother's keeper, I'm my sister's keeper. Yes, we are my people's keeper. From my family, yours, man. Peace in the bottle of grease. Be safe out there, brother Mario. Come back and holler at us later, all right?
All right, peace.
Jeez, Chief.
Thanks.
Well, again,
Patrice, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
J Mel is in the building. He slipped in on us.
Something told me to come over here.
Yeah, again, man. Definitely that was great conversation. Again,
definitely great conversation. It just plugs into parenting style is important, and
right.
we know everybody's not going to come from a 2-parent home.
Right,
That's just not going to happen. Some people don't want to be married. Some people don't want to be in a relationship. Some people just want kids, and that be the end of it. But whatever the case is, like, we can't say one race produces more criminals than another race or whatever, because we all produce crazy in some type of way. Like, but the goal is to be better parents and parent these kids so they will not be criminals.
Right, right.
The traditional family style has changed. Traditionally, it has changed, but family still exists. Whether it's a single parent, an auntie, whether it's a cousin that's raising a sibling, like family we still there, we still exist or whatever. And so whether I'm raising my child or I'm raising my nephew or I'm raising a cousin, I still have to have some type of parenting style to make sure that I raise them correctly. And it involves me nurturing them. It also involves me disciplining them, linking them to different resources, showing them different things. I can't just fuss all the time. I have to also be caring as well. We just have to, all of those parenting styles, they do exist, and they exist for a reason. One come from, because that's all they know. You know, that's all I've been introduced to. Now, I know I cannot be just straight and not let my kids have an opinion, because that's what I'm doing is producing children that's just going to grow up and be in a world where they get pushed over all the time because they're scared to stand up for themselves. And that's not what I want. I want to produce children that are vocal, that's going to go out, do what it is that they're supposed to do, and be productive citizens all around, all that good stuff.
I was, while you were talking, I was going back through the comments, and I know our great producer Brian Smith had made a comment earlier, and he's talked about good advice from parents seldom prevents a child from revisiting past mistakes as their own. And then he also says usually good advice gives an efficient path to learning from mistakes rather than preventing mistakes. So again, it's just one of those things as it relates to a parent. You just want to try to do your best to cover it all, just to cover it all. Again, at the end of the day, children are going to make, their choices and their decisions. We hope that they make them for the better, in order for them to be better men, to be better women, and make the right choices. That's just always a trend. But we have to be responsible to do what we're supposed to do. Use, the techniques that we've learned, look at what didn't work, because again, there's something that we can learn. Again, our parents, your parents, whoever, they did the best they could with what they had. And again, they did what they knew. And so when you are introduced to new information, when you're introduced to different situations, you try to take those opportunities and to make them, a better opportunity in order to do, what's best for you, because you knew what it did for you. You knew how it, whatever discipline or whatever conversation, you knew how it made you felt as a kid and what it did. And so our thing is to make sure that we do our best to in this conversation to help, you use you know, what's going to be beneficial to you, and just kind of give some insight so you can kind of just, you know, have an overview and to kind of examine and to look at, you know, your parenting style and see if there's some things that you may need to adjust. Because again, like we said, there's no parenting handbook. You know, the scriptures, you know, gives us, you know what I'm saying, train up a child in the way they should go, that when they grow old, they won't depart from their teachings. And when we look at that, you know, that scripture, when we look at that word, you know, you do all you can to make sure that you teach your children and to give them, and not let the world or the, you know, everybody else train, again, to show them you do it. And so again, even if they depart from, even if they make bad choices, they're going to come right back to it, because they're going to understand it's going in the wrong direction. I'm headed in the wrong direction. So let me come back to what I do know, in order to be better. Well, got anything else in?
Authoritative has been recommended as the most positive outcome as it comes to parenting style.
Right.
With this parenting style, you have firm boundaries and expectations, but adjust when needed. Have age-appropriate expectations. Help your child work through emotions and problems. Believes corporal punishment is ineffective, meaning beating their behinds is not always the answer.
Right.
The outcome from this parenting style, you will produce higher self-esteem and self-confidence, high emotional intelligence, closer with parents and less susceptible to peer pressure, high level of self-control, become problem solvers. So if you just communicate with your child, they did something crazy at school, you sit down and you have a conversation. I can honestly say Ari is 13, Aiden is 10. I can count on one hand how many times I probably hit them, because I don't normally go to the hitting approach. And for one, my mom didn't beat me. I probably got hit maybe once or twice as a child, but that's it. But the conversation, me and her just having a dialogue, this is what happened, this is why I did it, X, Y, and Z, that helps. Now, everybody ain't like me. I just think everybody ain't like, some kids are just worse than others, and I get it. But you got to understand, if you have discipline that child, physical punishment the last 10 times, and the behavior is still the same, you need to do something different. You have to check yourself, because that ain't working. So why keep doing something if you see it is not working? And also, when children do something and it's repetitive and they're doing it over and over, then you need to find out, why is that child doing that? Parenting, it's okay to send your children to therapy if that's necessary, because if there's an issue that has to be addressed, and the traditional way may not be it. You might need a therapist because something could have happened to your child that you don't know about, and they never share that. Because family members, people that you have trusted with your child, could have taken advantage of him and her, and that's why they may be acting out. So you have to look at all narratives. You can't just say it's my way or the highway, because your child could be acting out because granddaddy just touched her between her thighs, or he might be acting out because uncle made him bend over. Whatever the case is, you need to investigate, and not, you need to listen and you need to respect. I read something the other day where there was like, should you ask your child, is it okay for visitors to come over? Mostly every parent said, that's my house. That's my house. Anybody can come over. Well, what the mother was trying to get them to understand is the reason why her daughter did not want this particular family member to come over is because every time she was out the presence of her mom, this aunt would slap her. So every time she said, I didn't want them to come over for that particular reason, because my auntie put her hands on me. So you're telling your child not to talk and it's my way or the highway. That's not effective parenting, because your child is being abused right in your presence, and you're too stupid enough to think, because I'm the boss, that I can't read it. Let me back up. Wait a minute. You need to be a parent by listening. You have to listen. And listen comes vocally, but listen also comes from paying attention to your children's, their signs and emotions. and hold up, because I'm about to be a parent. Y'all walk Caesar home. Don't let him walk out there by himself.
You better parent, girl. Come on now.
See, we had a neighbor come over. Him and Aiden did homework together tonight. And so I'm not about to let him walk home by himself.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? No,
Right.
they about to walk him there.
Mm.
But that's an example of community, and you're looking out for your neighbor.
Right. That's
what
right.
if he walked home and something happened to him?
Right.
That we're not having that. Y'all walk him home. Thank you
So,
for coming over to help.
And they're gonna blame us for it.
All right,
So-
y'all go ahead.
Okay. So is it safe to say that there may be a part 2 to this?
Well, I think it needs to be a part 2 because we really didn't explore all the 4 parenting styles
Right.
because, you know, our conversation shift a little bit.
Right.
So
but you don't.
if we really want to explore the 4 parenting styles, then we can do a part 2.
And I would also like to get some guests to come on, like maybe some single mothers and some single fathers, and we can find them to kind of talk about their ups and downs, their challenges as relates to with parenting styles. So I think if you're listening by way of podcast, if you're looking and listening by way of YouTube and Facebook, 119 Media Group, My People's Keeper, definitely on our next episode, if you would like to be a guest on our show, please inbox us, 119 Media Group. You can also inbox me, William Robinson Jr. or Patrice Robinson, and we would love to have you on this next episode concerning different parenting styles and talking about the challenges and also the highs and maybe the lows of what parenting is and what parenting does. All right. How does that sound, honey?
It sounds good, but I also want to say this. You know, once I get started, like here's the thing.
You get going.
I know we want to go back to the whole it takes a village to raise a child, but the village have changed. People's thought process have changed, and we can't do the village in certain situations. We may have to raise this child by ourselves. And if you are that single mother that you have to raise that son by yourself, then what you do is raise him or her to the best of your ability, and you look for different resources to help, because you might not have a brother or uncle that can step in and be a father figure. Because I know right now, I'm talking for my husband, he is pulled in 50 different directions. How can you ask him to be a parent, be a role model to several other kids out there when he has one at home also? Because life and all the things that happen in life makes us so busy, it's hard to be that community again. So the dynamics have changed. But how I'm gonna say this? Because I'm not trying to be mean with it, but
say it like you feel.
Sometimes we have to do it by ourselves. We might not want to, but that just might be our story. And I've known several moms who have done it by themselves and raised great kids.
Right.
You might not have the village, but you do the best you can with what you have. And then if you see somebody doing something better, then you can go ask, well, what y'all did? Because I ask parents all the time, well, let me see how you do it. Well, how you do it that way? And then when I learn from somebody else, then I bring it home. Well, we're going to try this. It may last 2 weeks. Now that don't work for us, but I'm willing to give it a try.
Right.
That's all I got. Let me go watch these kids. I'll be right back.
What? Oh, man. Look. Again, if you're listening in, we were talking about different parenting styles, and definitely we're going to get a little bit more in depth in it and explaining the different parenting styles on the next episode. Again, I would love to have you as a guest to come in and talk and to give just some input, some insight on definitely what we can do, and definitely like she shared there, definitely we want to go back to the village. It takes a village to raise the child, but sometimes when we look at it, the village has changed, the dynamics of the village changed, the thinking process of the village has changed, but we have to find something that will help us make the change that's needed in order for us to be better parents, to be better families, so that our children can be better, so that the next generation can become what we know that they can be. And that is definitely great for this generation, or the next generation is not lost at all. No, they're just wondering, and we got to make sure that we grab them, we find them, we hold them, we nurture them, we encourage them, we motivate them, we mold them to be everything that we know God has called them to be. Listen, I'm done. I appreciate. Oh, she's back from parenting that quick. Look at her. She's fast, quick on her feet. My lovely wife, my co-host, as always. We thank you so much for always tuning in to My People's Keeper. Please go to Spotify as well, 119 Media Group, and listen on your way on the road. You don't have to just view us by way of Facebook or YouTube, but we want to push you and encourage you to go to Spotify and to check us out there. As always, to the 119 Media Group family, it's always an honor and a privilege. We thank you so much for this platform that you allow us to share, to impart, and to encourage, and to empower and uplift my people. Well, till next time, we love you. Peace.
That'd be great.
Whatever happened to Am I my brother's keeper, huh? You know what happened to it.
It became My People's Keeper. A moment of information, impartation, and inspiration to uplift, encourage, and most importantly, empower. So am I my brother's keeper? Yes,